How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week, at least once, during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie. And today we're going to be looking at Shark Waters. This is from 2022, directed by Jadon Cal, and stars Meghan Carrasquillo, Mike Ray Anderson, and Jim Fitzpatrick. Now, this is put out by the Asylum. The Asylum is typically known for things like Sharknado, big, over-the-top shark movies. They're usually really cheesy and usually part of a series. This is one of their few serious shark movies. They had previously done a serious shark movie just 2 years earlier with Shark Season, and that one wasn't great. And this one, correspondingly, is also not great, and maybe they should try to maybe give up on doing serious films. The Asylum is best when they're big, fun, and cheesy, and this just, once again, did not work. There's a few things about it. I guess first off, let's mention the plot is so super generic that early into watching this movie, I had to think, I'm sure I didn't see this one before, right? So I had to think, and I go, okay, no, I checked, this is a new movie, I have not seen this one before, it's just super, super generic. Also, because it's serious, once again, we don't get that fun, over-the-top Asylum flair. We do get dumb moments, but they're not celebrated, they're not cheesy, they're not as good as they could be, but it is still dumb because it still is a low-budget shark movie, and we see how shark movies have been smart lately to say, hey, if we're gonna be silly, we might as well play it up, because when you don't, it's still there, and it just makes you look bad. Things like characters constantly falling in the water for no reason, other than that, they would be safe on the boat, so, I'm falling in the water. We also get these weird scenes where sharks come up and they whack them with the oars and they die surprisingly easy, which makes the sharks not really big threats. And get ready for a classic B-shark movie convoluted plan towards the end. If we just do this and push here and put fish here, yeah, convoluted shark movie plans have started to really wear at me lately. But the big thing with this one is it's one of those that I realized we were like almost an hour into the movie, and I was like, what have we done? What have we really spent all our time with? How are we an hour in and got so little done? And I realized that a lot of this movie was padding through conversation, and granted, it's done enough where I didn't check out, because I've seen some bad conversation padding movies that you just check out instantly, but this still, it was filler, and we get a whole bunch of stories about, like, fishing memories, or talking about her dad, or just explaining the convoluted plan. And I mean, like, there's a scene towards the climax of the movie where the action's supposed to be heating up, but the helicopter pilot, some random character in the movie, has to stop and do this whole speech about how the captain of the boat helped him out after he had his divorce. And I'm like, quit it. Quit telling these stories. We don't need constant stories. But yeah, overall, not much happens. It is that talking padding. And the thing is, with the conversations, I feel the actors are doing okay with what they had, and that they just went with probably a first take. You know, it really just feels like they plopped the actors down, said go, and didn't really give them much direction or much chance to get their best performances. There's several times in this movie where it feels like they left the camera running too long, or the actors got off track, and you can hear them going and stumbling through lines and just trying to be like, yeah, that's great, huh? We'll get the shark. And it's clear that someone should have yelled cut and they should have started this over, but they didn't. And the movie kind of has that stumbling feel to it, which really isn't good. Overall, if you're huge fans of the Asylum, or if you're huge fans of shark movies, I guess you can watch this. It's not the worst offender by far. I've seen several worse shark movies. It's watchable, but it's ultimately gonna be pretty forgettable. Not much happens in here, and it's just, just some characters go fishing and get eaten by sharks. That's pretty much just it. I guess in order to analyze it further, I'm going to be talking a bit about the plot. No major spoilers, but I do want to do a bit of analysis and say my piece on a few plot points. I'll be avoiding the end bits though, but let's go ahead and dive in a little deeper. We open up with these two jet skiers, and the thing is, it's like a couple, and the wife goes underwater and she sees the sharks, but she doesn't move or really try to help her husband. I think the idea here is she's supposed to be hiding in the big open water somehow. But yeah, her husband gets eaten, and then she tries to make a dash for the little jet ski, and of course the sharks get her too. And honestly, it's just a so-so opening scene, and I almost wouldn't bother mentioning it, but this flippin' jet ski, the movie gets hung up on. Every now and then, for no reason, the Coast Guard will bring up the jet ski, and I'm like, no, I am sick of the jet ski, move on. If I hear the jet ski one more time, and it's not like it's all that often, it's just so irrelevant. Whatever. We move on to our main characters. We get this dad and this daughter, and the dad has a broken leg, so he can't go on this fishing trip with the daughter, and he's sending his girl out all alone, and he's so sad. And then we meet the rest of the people on the boat. We get a sea captain character who's cool and down to earth, and everybody has a story about he's just the best guy ever, and okay, a cool sea captain character. Then we get this guy called Shadow, and he's called Shadow because he's the first mate, but he doesn't talk often, and he's kind of dark and mysterious. Or at least that's what the script says. He actually talks as much as the other characters and seems like just a friendly guy, so whatever. And then we get the other people on the boat, which is this lovey-dovey couple, and, she wants to go horseback riding, but he wanted to go deep-sea fishing, and, oh, hey, can I drive the boat? I used to have one of these. No, you're being irresponsible. Yeah, whatever, there's not much to them, but we do have a few red shirts. Anyway, they all go out to sea, and one of them will hook a shark, which draws the shark's attention to the boat, and now they're in danger. I will say, with this first few people that die, there is a good bit of blood. It's not the best choreographed deaths, and the way people fall into the water for no reason is mind-numbingly painful, but at least when they fall in, there's a good splatter of blood and the water turns red. They, of course, try to go for help, and for whatever reason, their radio doesn't really work. Something like it's spotty, and then later they say it was damaged somehow. And of course, they're farther out than they should be because there was less fish in the water, and that's why the sharks are more aggressive, because they're hungry. Whatever. The main lady has the ability to get one phone call out before her phone dies, and she decides to call her father because her father can figure out how to save her. Yes, this is ripped pretty straight from Shark Season, and I'm like, Asylum, we're really copying Michael Madsen's plot pretty verbatim, but the thing with Michael Madsen's version of this plot is he was super cool, and everybody built up Michael Madsen, and he was really trying, getting on the phone and arguing with people. This guy, her father, immediately gets put on hold, and then when he finally gets a boat, it is the most rinky-dink, stupid-looking little boat, and one of the best bits of what I'm sure is unintentional comedy in this movie. Whatever. From there, we get the characters telling stories to pad out the runtime, and, I mean, telling stories, that's something, but again, it's not anything really substantial. And then, of course, convoluted plans. There's a sandbar over there. Maybe if we do this, or maybe if we do that. And then, of course, people just randomly falling in the water. And I also do like, with the Coast Guard in this movie, the Coast Guard, they paint them as slow and incompetent. And for like the middle act of the movie, they're just missing. But then when they portray them as competent randomly, there's like a guy with a bank of computers on the wall, and they act like they have a whole department just for monitoring and alerting people about sharks. And I'm like, okay, we went from realistically incompetent to something that belongs in one of the Asylum's sillier movies, but whatever. Again, the rescue operation, a little too close to shark season, but again, whatever. Overall, this movie isn't great. It's a lot of padding, it's not got anything super interesting. It does get a little dumb at places, so there's a bit of enjoyment, but overall, the seriousness just makes it slow, and this is one that I literally just watched, like I literally just finished it today and came over here to do this review, because I knew I didn't have much time that I could remember this well enough to talk about it. It is going to fade from my head pretty quickly, so definitely not a strong recommendation or anything. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Asylum Shark Movies playlist. I've literally almost covered all of them, so if you want to see me talk about a lot of Asylum Shark movies, you can check them out right there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.